28 years later, released on June 20, 2025, marks the highly anticipated return of director Danny Boyle and writer Alex Garland to the terrifying world of the Rage virus. It serves as the beginning of a new trilogy, picking up nearly 3 decades after the original outbreak and offering a fresh perspective on a post-apocalyptic Britain. 28 years later, 2025, A Pilgrim's Progress in a Raged Land. The film opens with a jarring scene in the Scottish Highlands, 28 years prior. At the very dawn of the Rage virus, a group of children, watching Teletubbies in their cottage, are brutally interrupted by an onslaught of Ragers. They encounter mutated variants of the infected, the slow-moving, obese, mold-covered slow-lows that crawl on the ground, slurping worms, and the more familiar, naked, twitchy sprint types. Inside, Spike makes a chilling discovery: an infected branded with the name Jimmy. While hiding, they observe patrol boats in the distant sea and a mysterious fire on the mainland. Later, the cottage collapses, and Jamie and Spike are pursued across the receding causeway by the Alpha. Eric, furious at being trapped, reluctantly agrees to help Spike and Isla find Kelson. Their journey is fraught with danger, leading them to a pregnant infected woman. At Isla's request, and with a heavy heart, Kelson incapacitates Spike with a sedative and then euthanizes Isla, granting her a peaceful end to her suffering. This profound loss, witnessed by Spike in a drug-induced haze, solidifies his understanding of death's inevitability and its deeply personal toll. Spike, now a lone wanderer on the mainland, is evading a group of Ragers when he is rescued by a strange, new faction, a gang of tracksuit-wearing cultists. Led by an adult Jimmy Jack O'Connell, the boy from the opening prologue, now calling himself Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, Jimmy, wearing his father's crucifix upside down, welcomes Spike and seems to offer him a place. This final scene sets the stage for 28 years later, The Bone Temple, promising a deeper dive into the societal mutations and philosophical battles over the nature of evil that have emerged in the long aftermath of the Rage. Spike's journey of innocence lost and forced self-reliance is complete, but his story, and the fate of this new, evolving world, is far from over. Kelson also gives Spike Eric's skull as a trophy, a bizarre memento of their journey. Isla, in a moment of shocking lucidity and empathy, helps the infected woman give birth to an uninfected infant. He carries the uninfected female infant, whom he has named Isla, in honor of his mother. He leaves the baby at the village gate with a note for Jamie explaining her origins and stating that he will return when he is ready, symbolizing his newfound independence and the burden of future hope he places on his father. An anguished Jamie, confronted with the baby and Spike's message, runs onto the causeway at high tide, overwhelmed by grief and the forced responsibility, and is swallowed by the waves, seemingly meeting his end. Eric, seeing the potential danger, attempts to kill the baby, but is suddenly decapitated by the Alpha, who is revealed to be the infant's father. They are narrowly saved by the villagers' sentries, who use a ballista to kill the Alpha. He leads the group to his sanctuary, a memento mori, a bizarre, almost tribal skull temple, a forest of bone totems with a grand pyramid of skulls at its center. Kelson, a figure of both wisdom and unsettling eccentricity, has been tending to the dead, both Ragers and humans, since the outbreak, creating a macabre, yet strangely reverent, sanctuary. Most terrifying is the Alpha Chilu Asperi, a much larger, stronger, and seemingly more intelligent infected, capable of leading packs and even exhibiting rudimentary territorial marking. One child, Jimmy Rocco Haynes as young Jimmy, escapes and finds his father, a priest, praying in a church. Believing it to be the Day of Judgment, the priest sacrifices himself to lead the infected away, allowing Jimmy to flee with a crucifix necklace. He discovers Jamie's affair with Rosie, the village school teacher. This betrayal, coupled with his mother's deteriorating condition, plants a seed of distrust in Spike. He also learns from Sam Christopher Fulford, a concerned villager, that the distant fire might be from Dr. Ian Kelson. Ralph finds, a former GP rumored to have survived and perhaps holds some medical knowledge. The idea of a doctor, a concept Spike has never truly known, ignites a desperate hope for his mother's cure. This haunting prologue sets the stage for a world irrevocably altered. He absconds back to the mainland with his ailing mother, Isla. Embarking on a perilous journey to find Dr. Kelson, they take refuge in a ruined church where Isla, in a dissociative state caused by her illness, instinctively kills an infected that attacks Spike, showcasing a chilling, almost supernatural connection to the violence around her. Fast forward to 2031, 28 years later. The rage virus has been eradicated from continental Europe, but the British Isles remain under strict, indefinite quarantine, a forgotten wasteland. Our story centers on a self-sufficient, almost cultish community on Holy Island, Lindisfarne, a tidal island off Northumberland. This community, cut off from the rest of the world, has regressed to a near medieval existence, relying on hunting, rudimentary defenses, and a rigid, almost religious, social structure. Here, we meet Spike Alfie Williams, a precocious 12-year-old boy, preparing for his first hunt on the mainland with his strapping father, Jamie Aaron Taylor Johnson. Jamie is a hardened survivor, fiercely protective of his family, including his ailing wife, Isla Jody Comer, who is bedridden with a mysterious, debilitating illness marked by migraines and hallucinations. Spike, though young, shows a keen intelligence and observation beyond his years. The hunt is a coming-of-age ritual, traditionally for older boys, but Spike's skills already surpass many. Their journey to the mainland, accessible only by a causeway at low tide, immediately reveals the new horrors of the raged world. During their hunt, the Alpha attacks, forcing Jamie and Spike to take shelter in a dilapidated cottage. Back in the village, a celebration erupts, but Spike's world begins to unravel. Driven by this hope and his growing disillusionment with his father, Spike makes a momentous decision. They are then rescued by Eric Sundquist Edvin Riding, a lone Swedish soldier whose patrol boat sank, stranding him in the quarantine zone. Dr. Kelson appears, subduing the Alpha, whom he calls Samson, with a morphine dart. Kelson examines Isla and delivers a devastating diagnosis. She has terminal cancer, both breast and brain, and there is no cure. Devastated but resolute, Spike begins his solitary journey back to Lindisfarne. The film concludes with an intriguing, slightly jarring epilogue set 28 days later.